Going.
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I've got cake in my hair, um, icing in various places because we just got done having some cupcakes for little Lucas's first birthday. So he has never had icing or cake before. And we figure for his first birthday, it was kind of okay to do a little bit of a smash situation.
Yeah.
And so it was everywhere. He was smearing it, he was putting it on me. It was fun. It was cute.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. You got pictures, I hope that you can share with us
Yeah, I
maybe?
tried. It was, and I was like trying to get my mother-in-law, I think, got a little bit of video and things like that. But it was, yeah, we were all kind of messy, and so. But this wasn't. We're gonna have another one where we celebrate a bit more and do his presents and stuff because it was during the week. And
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, it was cute though. I just can't believe
Oh,
how fast time is going.
I know. That's
It's
crazy.
just, yeah, it's weird.
Here.
Wait, I know, and I feel like the parents need the the celebration. Honestly, like you made it through the first year, and every year thereafter, and the kid is still okay, is alive.
Right.
Is you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I really feel like we are the ones that deserve the props. So,
Right. And how about Ethan? How does he react to his little brother having a celebration? Because that's new for him too.
oh yeah, sorry, I have some light issues out here. I'm outside with the crickets. It sounds so it's a bit anyway. But it's gonna be too dark if I turn this off. Sorry, I'm just like playing with it here. Ethan,
Yeah.
yeah, he loves it. He's never been really jealous of Lucas, but when
Mhm.
Lucas was getting the presents, he was a little bit like, where's mine? I like that. And so
Yeah.
I wonder if I have to like turn off that other light. Anyway, I'm like being a little bit blinded out here. It
Yeah,
all of a sudden got dark.
it did. It did get a little bit dark. It's that just that time of day. But
It is. Yeah.
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 Um, I'm actually
So
jealous. You have a spot to sit outside though. I don't have something like that. So you're
yes,
I don't know.
I love, and our grass that we planted is growing now, and yeah, so it's feeling more and more like home, which is nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just checking to see if anyone is on here when it's so weird. We were just talking about how the Facebook platform is so different now, and we're just getting used to navigating it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we
So
wanted to talk about you. Like, how are you? And this is a topic that I feel like I'm always picking your brain about. So
absolutely. This is tonight's topic. We want to talk about what essentially launched me into my health journey. If you've been following us, then you know that I had at one point gained 100 pounds, and I have lost about half of that now. So I've lost the 50 pounds in a way that was natural, fun, and I I don't want to say easy, but I kind of do, a little bit of easy because it happened like it I describe it as melting off in a sense. And
mm-hmm.
it stayed off. So far, it's just stayed off, and I couldn't have been happier. But the process that it got me to the point of where I was when I was ready to do this is what I want to talk about tonight, because often we overlook this step. Most of us want to lose weight so desperately, right,
Yeah.
that we forget that inner transformation that has to happen. You have to go through the process to be ready to change, ready to accept yourself, and ready to move forward.
Yeah.
Um, so for me, I kind of wanted to share with everybody how I even got to that point of gaining 100 pounds. I'd say, gosh, Michelle, when we first met, I don't remember what I weighed, but I was fit and thin. And I remember showing you recently pictures from unfortunately, when we split ways, I had gained all that weight while you were away. And I remember showing you the picture, and you're like, wow, that was you.
Yeah, because yeah, I've never known you like that.
Right, right. Yeah. So it was really sad in a sense of how my brain had carried me through to gain all that extra weight. It was me entering a different phase of my life, I dedicated myself wholeheartedly to work and everything that involved that particular job. It was 10-hour days, 2 hours in the car, just driving back and forth to work. And
That's a lot
oh
of driving.
my God, in Tampa traffic.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh gosh. And so there's a lot of stresses that happen just naturally, but then you add on to it this, at the end of the day, there's just this defeatist mindset. What's interesting is, if anybody here that's watching this knew me in high school, they would say that I was probably the shyest person. I really only associated with my close friends. I had a hard time talking with people and kind of going outside of my bounds. When I was going through this phase, I was so angry, I found a voice. I definitely spoke up, and I'm like, it was like I was constantly in the state of fight. There was no flight anymore.
It was like you had repressed all of this stuff and it was just coming out.
Yes, it in a bad way. And and there was just this, I just ended up eating it, eating my frustration. During lunchtime, I would just go down to the deli and I'm like, I don't care, burger and fries. We're not going to care today because it's stressful and I deserve this. So, I don't know if anybody feels that way. Have you ever? I'm sure get into a point where you're like, I've earned this for my due, from what I've paid. And
totally.
And then I would come home and there was this, I work in insurance, and there's kind of this unsaid joke that the insurance industry always kind of has this, you just drink. Let's just be honest, you just drink when you come home. And it was almost like this brag, like, yeah, I had my bottle of wine last night. I'm like,
oh, wow, no, interesting.
We kind of, it's not that we condone the behavior, but at the same time, it was just a weird dynamic. It's almost the same thing like when you hear people brag about how little sleep they get. Like, oh yeah, I'm doing all this and I just got 3 hours sleep. It's the same kind of mentality.
Yeah.
You just do this and you're still a functioning person. But I was in denial at this point too. The funny part was I didn't know how much weight I had gained because I still saw myself as a thin person. And it took a while before that clicked. I don't know what I wore, what clothes I put on, but one day I was like, oh my God. Something, it was just like this light bulb had gone on.
So, I mean, like, as you were gaining the weight, you must have been noticing it, like, you don't remember, like, that you weren't wearing your normal clothes. Was it very gradual? I mean, it's not like we don't wake up one day and we're like, oh, I've gained all this weight. But then the realization, maybe you weren't weighing yourself, you kind of like were able to, again, just wear clothes that were slightly baggier or whatever.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The sizes would go up very slowly as I went out and went shopping, and I didn't really pay much attention to that. I just grabbed clothes off the rack and I would grab 1 or 2 different sizes and not pay attention. But it was completely gradual. I stopped weighing myself. I used to count calories very, very meticulously. I stopped doing that because that became such a chore that I burnt myself out on it. I could not manage counting a single calorie for just one meal.
Yeah. You probably wanted to rebel against it too, to a certain extent.
Absolutely. It was like I had done it so religiously that for probably about 3 years. And it was just something where I'm just like, screw this. I can't do it. One more. Give me that wine. Give me that glass of wine. Yeah. And, what's kind of funny is when I had that realization that something had to change, I then had this weird zigzaggy path of what's my goal? Like, what am I going to do to motivate myself? And finding that reason to get fit again and get healthy. So I was constantly, my boyfriend and I would sit and talk for hours about this. What do you want to do? What's your goal in life? And the best I can compare it to is when one day I to do try tennis. Never played tennis, but I thought that could be my goal. And this was just one example. I went through many, many different kind of sports that I wanted to try. And but in the back of my mind, I always thought, what if I got thin and I tried tennis and I hated it? So I quit. I quit before I even started my journey.
Yeah.
I didn't even get, a lot of people will find their goal, they'll reach their goal, and then they start slacking off as they, and that's how maybe some weight comes back. You've reached it, you celebrate, and then you take your breaks. I didn't even get to that point. I stopped before I started.
Yeah. I think it's so common.
It's very common. And there was one day, I remember this so clearly. I was sitting on the living room floor of all places. I'm just on the floor with my boyfriend. We're talking about this yet again. And I just had this moment, this revelation where I looked at him and I said, what if I didn't have a goal? What if I just didn't care about what I did? If I lost weight, what would be my goal? Would it be to be thinner? Would it be to have certain clothes? Would it be to try tennis? And I said, let's say no. Let's say no. I don't want any of that. So I decided that I didn't want a goal. I wasn't gonna buy into it. I'm just like, I'm done. I'm done trying to find that perfect reason. And you know what happened in that moment?
I'm gonna turn this way. Yeah, I'm listening. Sorry.
What happened in that moment was absolute freedom. I think my shoulders literally went, oh, what a relief. I had built up so much pressure for myself trying to find my goal that once I had this revelation, I could feel in my body just relaxed, and it felt freeing, absolutely freeing.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's funny though, I share this story with so many people and they, for lack of a better term, they freak out. I had so many people when I told them I was going to start this weight loss journey, and they would ask me, well, what's your goal? What's your goal weight? What's your goal for this? And I said, I don't have one. I was so happy about it. And I couldn't.
They were like, what are you doing? You have to have a goal.
Exactly.
That is like, I don't know, coaching 101.
Exactly. It's so funny. Everywhere is, and we even talk about it, finding your reason, finding your why, because it does matter. But what's beautiful is that this is my story. This is what's going to work for me. And that's what launched me forward. I built up so much pressure for myself that for me specifically, it was okay not to have a goal. And I still don't have one. 50 pounds later, I don't have another goal. I'm actually now looking forward to, what is my body going to do? I'm now curious. I haven't lost any more weight on the scale, but I do feel shifts in my muscles, in my body, in my clothes. So it's still adjusting because I'm giving it that freedom. I'm giving it that space. And it's just, I think this was such a huge revelation for me that I can't help but want to share it with everybody, because the message is, it's okay if you want to be different. It's okay if you want to take a different path and go against the grain. It's just got to work for you.
Well, what's interesting? I sometimes think that actually people set goals that are unattainable almost for a reason, because then when it doesn't work, they have an excuse for like, oh, well, yeah, I didn't, or for not really trying to achieve it. And then they just feel worse about themselves and they get stuck in this spiral. I've done it so many times. I've set, like, again, my goal was a certain number, a certain body fat, that my body like wouldn't be healthy to try to get there. Other people have healthy bodies at that weight and body fat, but not me, So I would have to do very unhealthy things and give up a lot of my life to have that, you know, to get down, and I still probably wouldn't be happy, you know what I mean? So it's like this. So I think that, yeah, letting go of that just allows you just to be, and just be in this body that you have right now. And it just, the weight doesn't feel like it's so, like, you know, like you wake up in the morning like with this panic feeling of like, I've got to do this, I've got to achieve this.
Yes, absolutely. And I completely put so much pressure on myself. And back when I was younger too, when I was fit, I would put the pressure on myself, and I had to do this every single day. I had to do that, this or that, eat this way, exercise that way. And it was a lot to keep up with.
Yeah.
And then if I gained a pound, if I gained a pound, I would just beat myself up for it. And then
it's like, you can gain a pound from literally having more humidity in the air. We're in Florida, so we know about humidity. And you know, it's, and we become a slave to that scale, and it's crazy.
Absolutely.
And no one else knows that you weigh a pound more than you did yesterday because you ate some salty pork or a margarita. Like, you know, like it's so crazy. I love this, that we're on the same page, because it's very different than what the standard advice is in our industry.
Absolutely. And you know, one more thing to add to this, I mentioned about my attitude and how frustrated and angry I was about everything, and that was a side effect of my, you know, what I was putting my energy into. When I decided to let go, all that started to let go too. It wasn't something I did have to work at it a little bit to get over those initial hurdles, but it was freeing in that sense too, because I tried really hard to take a different outlook at things, because I had this one revelation. It also I had that mindset of, well, what are the other possibilities that aren't tied to health and wellness? I mean, health and food and fitness, basically. What other possibilities out there that I'm overlooking because I'm still angry all the time over dumb things? But it was full circle freeing. By not having that goal, I could then open up the possibilities of relationships, friendships, you know, it was family. There were other opportunities that I was so blind to see. I mean, I was so blind to, and I couldn't see. So that also helps propel.
Well, and I think that's like a prison that a lot of women are in, because they can't really show up for their lives because they are always obsessed about food and their body and worrying about that. So there's no time and energy for anything else. So of course you're going to be in a freaking bad mood, you know, you're not going to feel, you're not going to be showing up in the best way possible. So I think that is huge, and it's something that we do with our clients, and it's so important.
Absolutely. So it was an amazing process, and I'm a little sad that I had to figure it out for myself. You know, I wish Michelle and Denna had been there for me.
Right. Exactly.
But
so if you're going through this, we've got your back.
Yes.
We know how you feel about this, and we can help you break free from that forever.
Absolutely. Free yourself.
And we would love to help you.
Absolutely.
Free yourself.
Thank you so much for allowing me to share this little story. I hope it was inspiring to some people, and
I love hearing it. Even though we talk about this stuff all the time, I love hearing it again. So we would love you guys. I mean, we need to, you know, say hi more often and ask if there are any questions. A lot of this is us sharing our stories, but it's just different topics that we think are so relevant to a lot of people that, again, are really not being discussed out there as often as they should be. Or, you know, well, I feel like a lot of people struggle with this like alone. You know, and they might not even realize.
It's true. You don't. I certainly didn't know this about myself Otherwise I could have fixed it. I was constantly looking for the next product to help me fix my problem. And that's the beauty of this.
Yeah.
There's no product. You don't have to buy anything.
Yeah. Exactly.
Nothing.
You just have to invest in yourself in terms of taking the time to do that inner work.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
But we're here to guide and help.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for sharing that, Denna. It's so enlightening and inspiring. And thanks anyone who had a look at this. I know this is kind of a funky time, but it's what works for us, and we might change it. But we just wanted to, we like getting the feedback that even if we only help one person, or it was what they needed to hear today, tonight, then that makes our day.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
We'll see you next time. Bye.